I'm Dan Drake. This is Front Up on Geno TV and Channel 99. Our guest is Seth Englebourg, who is with the Linda Loring Nature Foundation. Seth, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you are, what you do, and how you came to get there before we get into the real purpose of why you're here.
Thanks so much for having me here, Dan, today. So as you said, I work for the Linda Loring Nature Foundation. I've been working there about a year now, started last May. And originally I was just going to be there in a summer position. I had been finishing up a master's degree at UMass Amherst, where I was studying sustainability science. And I was doing a practicum opportunity to finish my master's degree. And after that was completed, it sort of was a natural fit for me to become a part of the year-round staff of the organization. And I really appreciate the opportunity I've been given. All the staff I work with are great. And most of my daily job is to coordinate and lead the education programs for the foundation.
And what does that entail?
So it entails a lot. We're a small organization, a young organization. We have 3 year-round staff, and we're 10 years old. And our mission is to engage all aspects of the Nantucket population in education. So we work with 3-year-olds up to senior citizens, sometimes in the same day, sometimes right back to back. So my job is to coordinate summer programming. That's mostly kids workshops, bird walks, nature walks at our foundation. In the off season, I'm doing a lot of school programming. So I'm in the schools, or we're having field trips out at our foundation, all related to science and nature. I do outreach, social media outreach, in-person outreach, all sorts of different things related to communications, education, and really getting our message out there so we can increase the depth and breadth of our programming at the foundation.
You enjoying it?
I really like it. It's a good place to work.
Good. I should say I'm involved too, so just in the interest of full disclosure. You did a program 6 weeks ago or so at the Science Pub program that the foundation sponsors. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually do them every month, and we've been doing them starting December of last year, and we have our last one coming up next week, May 8th. And basically the whole point of that is that we want to get a scientific speaker or researcher out to give a talk in a casual setting. So a lot of times people might be averse to science. They might not feel that comfortable with listening to a scientific presentation that has a lot of data, has a lot of graphs, has a lot of things they don't understand. So the whole point of Science Pub is 2 things. Get the researcher into a comfortable setting and engage people in a level where they can really understand the basis of the science, have fun, have some drinks, have some food. And the talks aren't really data heavy. They're more scratching the surface of this is what you do as a researcher, and it's almost outreach on the researcher's side, sort of not something you present at a conference, but something that you want to engage the public in. And it's nice because sometimes the venues we do these talks at, people just come because it's a restaurant or a bar, and they get involved in the science even if that wasn't the reason they were trying to go there.
The program you did, the presentation you did was about drones.
Yep.
I think the audience who weren't there would be interested in hearing a little bit about drones.
Yeah, so I gave the first one of the season, I think it was in January, and it was talking about how we can use drones or unmanned aircraft in general to help ecological management. And specifically what I was talking about is how we can use drones to map invasive species. So this work is actually already started on island. Back in November, we did some Phragmites mapping with the off-island consultant to identify where Phragmites was in 3 ponds around Nantucket.
Phragmites, we call them cattails, right?
Yeah, so Phragmites and cattails are actually 2 different things.
Are they? Okay.
Cattails are a native species that always were here, and Phragmites is a different invasive species that was introduced here.
But it's very similar in appearance.
Yeah, they look pretty similar. Phragmites are much taller and they're much more aggressive. If you have a stand of Phragmites, it's probably going to increase in size really quickly, whereas cattails are probably going to increase much more slowly or stay in the size they are. But anyway, the whole purpose of the presentation was to talk about how we can use drones to really get a better understanding of where the invasive species are and to do it quickly. So you have two options for identifying where plants are. You can go out and walk around, or you can take aerial data. And aerial surveys have been happening in the past with helicopters and airplanes and satellite, but that data is sometimes really expensive. It might not be the right resolution, and it might not be the right time of the year. So if you have a drone, you can do it on demand. You can just one day say, I need this data. The next day you can go out, collect the imagery. Third day you can process all the imagery. And on the fourth day, or even maybe in the same day, you'll have the answers to the questions you're looking for.
So how does this lead into Birds and Brews?
Yeah, so we're doing an event called Birds and Brews, which is the first ever event, or the first ever time this event has happened on Nantucket. It's Saturday, May 13th, and it's going to be a collaboration between our foundation, the Linda Loring Nature Foundation, and the Cisco Brewery. And it ties in because
and it's free.
It's free and open to the public and open to all levels of birding experience. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but it ties in, as you said, because it's my job to do educational programs and also to expand the scope of our educational programs. So we had done a lot of bird-related programming in the past. It was one of the core aspects of our foundation, but this is sort of a way to get birding into the eyes of the public and increase people who might not be interested in birding or who might not participate in birding activities, to get them involved. So what it's going to be is a two-part event. In the morning, which is going to be 8 a.m. to noon, it's going to be a very relaxed, casual birding blitz. We're going to go to different island habitats, the beach, the grasslands, the forest, ponds, and try to see as many birds as possible. And we're going to do that with the help of some selected birding guides. Some of the best birders on island are going to be helping us out. And as you said, it's free and open to the public. Anyone who wants to participate, we'd love to have them.
How many are you hoping for?
We're hoping for about 30. Right now we have 10 people registered, and we have about 50 plus, 55, 60 people who have expressed interest on our Facebook page. A lot of times people tend to register for things last minute on Nantucket. So that is one thing I want to say. It is a free event, but if you want to participate in the morning section, which is the birding section, there is a registration process you need to go through. And to get more information about that, you can look at our Facebook page, or you can go to our website, which is llnf.org, and you can find how to register. And in the afternoon section, which is going to be at the brewery, there's no registration required for that part. It's just public.
Only a proof of age, right?
Yeah, just bring your license, bring some money to buy beer, and you'll have a good time. So,
do you have any programming scheduled for the afternoon?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing some programming. So one of the things we're going to have out at the brewery is an educational table that talks about bird conservation both locally and internationally. The reason why we picked that Saturday, May 13th, is because it aligns with two major global birding days. One is International Migratory Bird Day, which is put on by Environment for the Americas. And the second is the Cornell Lab of Ornithology Global Big Day. And in Global Big Day, people from around the world all are trying to see as many species in the same day, in the same 24-hour period as they can. So we're going to be contributing data to that effort, but we're sort of going to be doing it in a fun, playful way. Instead of just trying to hammer out as many species as possible, we're going to be doing a little bit of that, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of celebration at the brewery in the afternoon. And we hope it's a really fun, casual event. We hope people that have never picked up binoculars before, who've never paid attention to birds before, want to come, want to learn, and we're here to teach. So really it's an educational, informative event rather than a competitive event.
What if you get 60 people signed up?
Yeah, so we're willing to accommodate however many people sign up. The number that I'm shooting for is based on the amount of registrations we have right now and how much time we have left to the event. We have six guides that have been gracious enough to offer their support in helping us put on this event. So even if we had 60 people attending, we would definitely be able to handle that number of participants. Even if we had 100 people attending, we'd probably be able to handle it. I don't know if that many people will come or not. We hope they do. We hope as many people come as can. Because a lot of what we want to do at the foundation is get as many people involved with nature as possible. So if 60 people show up, I'd be really impressed. I'd be really happy about that.
Well, hopefully with this publicity, you'll get 60 people or more.
Yeah, great. That'd be great, definitely.
What's sort of on the horizon for other things that are coming up? Do you have anything else planned like this yet, or are you?
Yeah, so we are about to transition into our summer programming, which is mainly taking place in July and August, at least our kids' workshops. But our weekly bird walks have already started. It's every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. and meets at the Linda Loring Nature Foundation's 110 Eel Point Road. And we hope people come to those as well. And that's going to run through today, or actually started last week, and it's going to go until November 1st. So anyone that's interested in birding, if you can't make it to this event we're doing on Saturday the 13th, feel free to come any week, any Wednesday, and bird with me and bird with some other people from the foundation.
What time do you get together?
We meet at 7:45 a.m. and we depart the foundation at 8. We take our work vehicle and carpool if there are more people than the work vehicles can handle. So we have that. We have summer kids classes coming up. We have weekly Friday plant walks, which is going to be led by Sarah Boyce. That's our Director of Research and Education. Those are at 10 a.m. on Fridays. We have some special programming we're doing this year that hasn't been done in the past. We're going to be leading some snake walks at our foundation. We have kids classes that range from ages 3 to 13. In the past, we'd really only been surveying the markets of about 5 to 10-year-olds. So we're expanding the age groups that we're working with. We're continuing our collaboration with the Saltmarsh Center. We've been doing a monthly nature education program with them. A lot of them in the winter had been at the Saltmarsh Center due to weather constraints, but in the spring and the summer, they're going to be at our foundation, getting seniors outside, getting them involved in all sorts of different birding or plant or other nature-based activities. So we're really trying to increase the level of programming, the rigor of programming, and also the breadth of programming at the foundation.
Oh, that's great. I think that the thing we want people to focus on right now, though, is the Birds and Brews, May 13th.
May 13th, it's a Saturday. It starts at 8 a.m. The birding section goes from 8 a.m. to noon, and then the brewery section goes from noon to 3. After 3,
so the last birds you'll look for are out on the Hummock Pond Road.
Yeah, sort of around there. So yeah, it'll be a long day, 8 to 3. Obviously, after 3, you're welcome to stay at the brewery, but the official Birds and Brews activities will be going until 3 p.m. that day.
Great. Seth Englebourg from the Linda Loring Nature Foundation, thank you, and good luck with you.
Thank you so much, Dan.